Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the place where you learn new skill every time you visit. So keep updating yourself by subscribing to the channel.
We're going to discuss today lists in Python. So a list can be declared by just putting the name of the list like numbers equals to, and in square brackets we have to put all the elements of the list, and which it can also be printed by just the print command. Print the name of the list and it's going to give you the output, the complete list together. So basically a list is a collection of data, and that data can be integer, a string, or a float or decimals. To declare an empty list, you just have to say the list name like my list equals to and square brackets empty. You can also have mixed data types inside it, as I just told you. My list equals to square brackets 1 comma hello in double quotes and 3.4. You have to be careful when you put a string, it has to be in double quotes. Now how do you access elements of a list? So you just have to give an index value to access the elements. Like over here you say print languages in the square bracket 0, that's going to give you Python at 0th position. Similarly to print C++, you have to give print languages square bracket 2. So that means the index of the elements in a list starts from 0. So Python is at 0, Swift is at 1, and so the C++ at 2. You can also use a negative index. The negative index starts from the end. Like C++ here stays at -1 in negative way. Normally in a positive way it is at 2, but negative way -1. So if you say print languages -1, it's going to print C++, and so on. If you say print languages -2, it will print Swift, and -3 will print Python. You also have a length function which counts how many elements it has. Just say print len, and the name of the list is going to give you the count of elements in the list. Like over here you have 3 elements. Similarly, now you can access the elements of a list by using the in function. Here you have this list which is storing apple, banana, and cherry, and then you can run a loop for x in this list, the list name, and then just say print x. That's going to give you every element of the list. You can also access every element of a list by the index value. Just take a length of the list by the length function in ln, run a loop for I in range 0 to ln, and just say print the list name and I, that is this list and I. This is going to give you every element of the list. Like the first element of the loop I is 0, so it's going to print this list 0 like apple, then I will be 1, this list 1 like banana, I will be 2, this list 2 like cherry. Similarly, when you can access the elements, you can sum them also. So here we have got one more variable, sum equals to 0. We'll run the loop in the same way for I in range 0 to ln, and we'll say sum equals to sum plus no square bracket I. So it will pick the ith element and then keep on summing them, and then out of the loop you can just print the sum is this. So this program is going to print every element and then the sum of all the elements of the list. When we can access every element, we can also put a condition on them. So like over here we have a list no with storing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We have 2 variables, sum even, sum odd, where we are storing 0, and we are going to store sum of even numbers and odd numbers into that. We have got a ln function variable which is storing the length of the list. We are running a loop from 0 to ln, and we are checking that if the NOI means the ith element of the list happens to be a even. When it divides by 2 and gives 0 remainder, it happens to be a even. So it will add to the sum even variable, otherwise it will add to the sum odd variable. Then out of the loop, when the loop finishes, it's going to print sum of even and sum of odd numbers separately. So this is the way you can access every element, and also you can put condition on every element which you access from the list. Now that condition can be even odd, as I did here, or positive or negative. In positive negative case, you just have to say if NOI more than 0, then sum positive equals to sum positive plus NOI, sum negative equals to sum negative plus NOI. Not only positive, negative, even, odd, you can put any condition on the elements of the list. So this is the way you access every element of the list. Now here we are talking about the value of the list. Means when I say NOI, that means the content of the list, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. But we can also put a condition on the positions of the list. As we just discussed before, position index value start from 0 and position is 1 more than the index value. So for example, 1 is at 0th position, but 0th index value, but its position is 1. 2 is at 1 index value, but its position is 2. So what I mean to say, position is 1 more than the value of the I. So sum even equals to 0, sum odd equals to 0. This is here we are talking about sum of even position number, sum of odd position number. We have taken a length in ln, then running a loop same way from 0 to ln, and then first calculating position. So position equals to I plus 1, and then putting the even odd condition on position, not on the number as we did earlier. So here we are not putting NOI modulus 2, we are putting position modulus 2 equals to 0. So that means the numbers at even positions will be added to sum even, numbers at odd position will be added to sum odd, and then at the end it's going to show you the sum of even positioned numbers and odd position number. Like the sum of all the numbers which are at 1, 3, 5, 7, whether it's even or odd, that doesn't matter. And then the sum of the numbers at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, whether that number is even or odd, that doesn't matter. We are talking about here the positions, not the values. Okay, in the previous example we talked about the value. So what we mean here, what we are trying to tell you here is that you can put a condition on even on the position, even on the values of the list elements. So these are things which we discuss in a list. Now there's one more thing which we should discuss, that is how to reverse the list, right? So we have some ready-made functions to reverse a list, or you can also use a reverse loop to print the elements of the list in a reverse order. So there are two ways to reverse a list, either by a function, which is the name is reverse, or by the reversing the loop. So here the first example shows you the use of the reverse. You just have to say the list name, like LST is the list over here. You say LST dot reverse, and then when you print the list itself, it will be reversed printed. In the second example, you are using the same list, but here I'm running the loop in a reverse order, like ln equals to len of LST, and then you're running a loop for I in range from L minus 1, that is the last element first, to 0. It will go till 0, and minus 1 specifies that it reduces by 1. So this is the way you reduce a loop, reverse a loop for I in range ln minus 1, 0. Minus 1 actually reduces the I value 1 by 1. Thank you for watching the video.
If you are new to the channel, please subscribe it. Also press the bell notification so that you get notification as soon as I release a new video. Share and like the video.